newborn trenches. Woohoo, you made it. But as you look at your new postpartum body, you might be feeling all the things. Today, we are chatting about working out after having a baby and why it's important for your physical and your mental health. Thanks for joining us. This is Newbies.
He's gorgeous.
It's a girl.
Surprise! The whole family's here.
So when are you having the next one?
It's just poop.
Ready for another?
Wow, you look really tired.
Ready to go back to work?
Yellow poop? Seriously?
Did you sterilize this?
Sex? Now? You've got to be joking.
You should sleep when the baby sleeps.
She doesn't look anything like you.
I thought you already had your baby.
I did.
Babies don't come with instructions, so there's Newbies, helping new moms and new babies through the first year.
Welcome to Newbies. My name is Kaile Garcia, and I'll be your host today. If you haven't already, be sure to visit our website at newmommymedia.com and subscribe to our weekly newsletter, which keeps you updated on all the episodes we release each week. Another great way to stay updated is to hit that subscribe button in your podcast app. And if you're looking for a way to get even more involved with our show, then check out our online community. It's on Patreon. That's where we chat more about the topics discussed here on our show. You'll get behind the scenes extras and listen to our podcast ad-free. It's also an easy way to learn about our recording so you can join us live. This is a fun episode, and I'm excited to start this little series going. And so today our expert is Lori Harding. Lori, tell us about your family and where you are located and your love for Pilates.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. So yeah, my name is Lori. I'm located in Dallas, Texas. I am a fitness instructor part-time, and my family have one little daughter. I'm a single mom, a solo mama by choice. So yeah, it's just me and her. And I got Pilates going on, teaching classes. I teach about 6 classes a week.
That's so awesome. Good for you. Geez. And your daughter is under 1, which is what we love. Podcast is all about parenting under 1. So the fact that you can do that, that many times is amazing. Anyway, we will jump into all the fun Pilates questions and mom questions coming up. But first, let's take a quick break. Welcome back. Today we're discussing working out after having a baby. So first, I want to get a general idea of how you are doing, Lori. So tell us about your birth story, when your baby was born, general idea, and how that incorporated into you eventually working out.
Yes, absolutely. So my birth story was actually a really good one. I did have a C-section, but I did have placenta previa. So we needed a C-section. So it was planned. And I went in the day that I was supposed to get the C-section. They did all the things and they got her out. And there was just music playing, like my favorite songs playing while she was coming out. And they put her on my chest, and it was literally so amazing. And she is an IVF baby. She was born on World IVF Day as well, which is another yes. And then, I had my postpartum. What is it when I'm trying to think right now. When you take time off work, maternity leave.
Yeah, no, girl, I have an infant as well. I have mom brain. Yeah,
maternity leave. I went right into maternity leave. I had gotten laid off from my corporate job at 7 months pregnant. So I kind of was already in a maternity leave already, right before I had Alessia. And then, I kind of spent the newborn, it wasn't really a trench for me. It was actually really enjoyable, honestly. But I went through the newborn phase, and then right when I got cleared, because I did have a C-section, so I waited about 8 weeks before I jumped back into working out. Now, I was a Pilates instructor and doing Pilates before I had Alessia, about 2 years before. So I already had experience with working out and being on the reformer. And then at 8 weeks, when I got cleared, I went back and I took a class. And honestly, it's I had never stopped. It's going to sound crazy, but we can dive deeper into that.
Oh, I love that. So I guess backtracking a little bit. So once you got cleared around 8 weeks, you said you had a really good birth, which is amazing. So no major birth trauma or things you had to work through. I guess, when did you start feeling comfortable working out again? And I'll talk on my end. I don't work out besides walking and chasing my toddler. So for me, it was around, I remember in the early phases, week 2, week 3 postpartum, I would go for a long walk and then I'd be cramping the next day. And I'm okay, no. So it definitely was after that checkup, that 6 to 8 week checkup for me is okay, I can go on a walk and not cramp. And I stopped bleeding by by then, right? And so
Yeah.
it was good. So for your end, when did you start feeling comfortable to actually like slowly incorporate Pilates again without, I guess, any aches and pains that come with
Yeah,
menopause?
it was honestly around that 8-week mark where I felt safe, really. I know I was walking maybe a couple of weeks postpartum, honestly, a couple of days postpartum. I know
That's
they
good.
want you to kind of move your body when you're in after a C-section, but not anything too crazy. Like I would take a walk in like down the driveway, down the sidewalk, up and
Mhm.
down the sidewalk, nothing too crazy. But yeah, I started feeling more comfortable around that 8-week mark, like right when I got clear, right when my doctor said, you're able to go do some core workouts, things like that. That's when I was like, okay. But before that, I was not on the reformer. Even a little while I was pregnant, I wasn't really on the reformer due to the placenta previa.
And so when you did start working out, I guess what type of movements, especially like Pilates related, right? So what's like types of movements did you focus on? You said core. I
Yeah.
guess for me, I'm trying to think. I wasn't really that sore. I had a really easy second birth, but
Mhm.
I for one wanted to work on strength. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I was like I feel kind of weak. And so what type of movements did you incorporate early on?
Yeah. So the type of Pilates that I teach and that I take right now is Legree style. And that's more strength training. So it's a very contemporary Pilates. Pilates inspired, like all the moves like bear, planking, the upper bodies. There's moves called like sexy back. That's a Legree style. So it's a little bit more strength training on a reformer, a little bit more heavier tension, obviously using the center core, really centering through, laying on your supine, using the lower body to lift and lower, kind of contracting from your core and things like that. So those are the exercises that I went right into 8 weeks postpartum. So really working on my core, lower body, arms, obliques, basically full body, if you
I
will.
love that. Oh, and you're
Yeah.
feeling so strong. Okay, so next question before we jump into a next break is
Yeah.
what did you in the early days, like early months, so like month 4, 5, 6, what did you love or hate about working out postpartum? And for me, I have two. For me, I don't do daycare with my kids because I work from home. And
Yeah.
so for me, it was finding time where they're like both calm and
Yeah.
I can actually get away. And then two is the whole I still struggle with this, which is kind of embarrassing, but the showering situation. I plan
Oh,
out basically my whole week. Like, okay,
yeah.
today's going to be a night shower because we went to the splash pad, and like this morning we're not doing anything, so we're going to do an early morning shower. So squeezing time into shower was so difficult for me when I do go outside and like actually take a brisk walk. I guess what are some of your things that you love, hate about working out postpartum?
Yes. Okay. I will say I love how it makes me feel. I
Yes.
love how mentally it works mentally with my like mind and making me stronger and more happier. And just having that time to myself to really pour into myself so I can be a better mom. I do dislike sometimes it is hard to find time to work out, honestly.
For sure.
It's few and far between, especially as a fitness instructor. So I'm always like helping other people. And I even help other moms during postpartum and pregnancy in some of our exercises. So I'm teaching 6 times a week. And then sometimes I find myself going a couple of weeks
Mm-hmm.
without working out. So that's what I would say I don't too much care for, like with working out postpartum, because it's just the time, and then I'm a solo parent, by choice. And so it's just me and I have to lean on my village. And if my village is at work or just not available, those workouts don't get complete, and then I just have to try to find time.
Oh, definitely. I could so relate to that. Well, we talked a lot about Pilates. We're going to dive deeper into Pilates, but first, let's take a quick break. Welcome back. We are continuing our conversation with Lori. So, like I mentioned before the break, we talked about Pilates. What is Pilates? For someone listening and they're like, is that yoga? Do you use weights? Like, exactly what is Pilates? And I know there's a lot of different types of movements amongst Pilates. So, just generalize it for a toddler, just really quick. What exactly is Pilates? And I guess, how can it be so beneficial and how is it different than yoga?
Yeah. Okay. So I know Pilates, it was created by Joseph Pilates, the late Joseph Pilates, and it was to help people with mobility, flexibility, and things like that. And then, throughout the years, it's kind of gotten a lot more contemporary. It's like a lot of the women do it now. And I know a lot of people do it for toning, and a lot of people do it for like even recovery if you have like an injury. I know that's like the fundamental Pilates. But what it is today and like what I actually teach now, mine is way more contemporary, way more strength training. It's Legree style Pilates on a reformer. I know Joseph Pilates also did stuff on the mat, on the floor. And then the reformer was to help people to get into those moves. But yeah, it's just like there's that classical side and there's a contemporary side. I can't speak much on the classical side, but I know a lot about the contemporary side. We play loud music in there, the lights are down. It's a lot going on. There's a lot of holds and pulses. Like I said, that's the Legree style, the Legree side of Pilates, and it's the more strength training side. So there are two different sides of the whole the name Pilates.
And how exactly, because you said you did it before you even got pregnant. How did you get into Pilates? Like, obviously, I feel like we're women, everyone tries different workouts, but you obviously stuck with Pilates. I also really love Pilates. But what made you stick with it and what did you like about it?
Yeah, so how I got into it, first I was working at a bar studio, and that's more kind of like ballet inspired workouts. I was working at a bar studio for a little bit and I was working the front desk and I wanted to become a bar instructor. Didn't work out, pandemic happened and everything like that. So then I went over to it's called Solid Core, and that's kind of like Legree style Pilates. I worked the front desk there, and from there, the instructors and my leadership encouraged me to be an instructor. I tried out, and I became a solid core instructor. I went through the 2 week training, very, very, very intense training. I feel like that's what got me where I am today. So there, I got recruited by Carrie's Pilates, which where I'm at right now, Carrie's Pilates. Got recruited by Carrie's, ended up dropping solid core, got pregnant, and then just taught throughout my pregnancy. At 20 weeks, I was diagnosed with placenta previa, so I could no longer demo on the machine. So from 20 weeks to 36 weeks, which is what I went up to, I just stayed in instructing, walking around, talking, really giving those cues. And I really liked it because I loved how strong it made me feel. From when I did solid core, I felt sore. I felt like I got a good workout. I saw the difference in my body. I did a 30-day challenge where I did 30 days of solid core, which is highly not recommended, but it's just something I wanted to do. I wasn't pregnant. I wasn't pregnant. I did 30 days of solid core. I saw such a difference in my body. I felt stronger. I swallowed that pill and I'm now a Pilates girly
I
for
love
life.
that. Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
need to find a good Pilates studio near me. I love, and jumping into the next question, I love how you talk about strength, right? I love feeling stronger. I actually don't like being sore at all. Like it's just
Okay.
not something I like, but I like
Yeah.
stretching, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And I feel like with Pilates, you can kind of tune it to your own, like how far you'll be able to go. And it makes me feel confident, especially postpartum. I love that
Yes.
you said you work with postpartum moms. So I guess with your training and your instructor, how do you encourage those postpartum moms? Because I feel like we have good days and then we have
Yeah.
bad days. Some days clothes fit, and then the next day you're like me, 6 months postpartum, and get your period back, and you're like, okay, now I'm bloated. Like, what is this? So, how does Pilates, working out movement, and you as an instructor help postpartum moms through the wave of emotions?
Okay, for sure. I love to always give modifications for sure. So ways that you're able to still execute the exercise in a way that you like your body is able to being postpartum. I know, yeah, with the confidence and everything like that, it's like you see all these girls around you doing all these crazy moves and they're taking the amplifications. I always encourage people to listen to their body and there you'll still be able to get a really great workout doing modifications. So I'm always giving modifications. I know women that are pregnant can't really be on their back. So I
Mhm.
try to adjust the moves where you're not on your back and just adjusting the class to where it's a lot more smoother and easier transitions and accessible for women that are postpartum and just reminding people that we're just postpartum moms that giving yourself grace and slowly getting back in. You just had a baby and so many things are changing. Like your hair it might be falling out,
Yeah.
breastfeeding, and your jeans might not fit. Just giving yourself that grace and just moving your body for your mental health and for your community, just being around other postpartum moms and things like that. doing accessible moves for your body that are not too crazy or that's going to spike your cortisol all the way up, listening to really good music while you're working out, going slow. That's how I encourage the postpartum moms. I recently taught a mommy and me or a
Cute.
postpartum class, and a lot of the women were postpartum, and I think there was one pregnant woman, but everybody was under a year postpartum in the class, and we made all of the moves accessible. We had fun, encouraging music. Babies were involved, we're in the carrier and things like that, and it was just a really good time. Everybody was able to really show out and show that they could do squats. Maybe if you can't go all the way down, you can go halfway, or
Mhm.
lunges where you can just do a half lunge instead of doing the entire lunge. Some moms want to, show out like I can do this. So it's just we're meeting you wherever you're at. If you can do a half lunge, do a half lunge. If you can do a full lunge, you could do a full lunge. Like, we're meeting the moms where they're at. So
Going into the next questions, what are some tips that moms can do in regards to Pilates? But you kind of answered it already. But I guess for the listeners who are like, okay, I'm motivated,
Mhm.
I might put on YouTube, right? And like do a Pilates session. What are some things that you can do with your, under 1 year old in a baby carrier, holding them while I mean, I can squat and nurse because
Oh,
I
yeah.
do that anyway with a toddler picking up toys. But what are some Pilates movements that maybe they aren't even aware are Pilates movements that you can which you kind of already did, but explain a little bit now,
Okay, so like on a reformer or off the reformer, like at home?
like at home. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Squats are also always really nice as gets into the lower body. I know we do squats in our Legree style class. Lunges, back lunges, taking that step back, bending both knees 90 degrees. You have the baby in the carrier. I know you can get 2-pound weights and do some shoulder presses. So raising the shoulders up, doing some shoulder presses with baby. Let's see what else. I know like you can't lay on your back with the baby. You probably can, but I know a lot of the like mat Pilates are, it's on the back. So it's like the crunches and things like that. But I know getting into that lower body, you can do those lunges, the squats, use the 2-pound weights and kind of do the serve the platter where you extend your arms out straight, bending the biceps, tree hugger, hug the tree. It looks like you're literally hugging a tree, bringing your knuckles together. That's another good one for upper body. And I guess for core, like there are a lot of exercises you can do, like standing core with the knee raises, driving your knee up, each leg, one knee, drive up, the other knee, drive up. Some oblique exercises, kind of moving your torso from side to side, or just even twisting from your torso from left to right. So, yeah, those are a couple of moves right there. I wish I could show you guys visually, but.
That's so and I guess I'm throwing in another question, but, like, when you started to jump back into Pilates after having your baby, what was your aha moment? I remember for me, not that I did Pilates, but for
Yeah.
me, I like to go on really long walks. I did at least when I was pregnant, like
Mhm.
3, 4-mile walks, and I remember, like, 2 miles in, I was, like, looking at my phone, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing it, and I'm not even tired." Like,
Yeah.
I'm finally getting my pink back, like, here I go, you know what I mean? So what was your aha moment, I guess? Was it your first class, your 30th class? Was it teaching a new mama? What was your aha moment of like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a mom, and I'm now helping other moms, and I'm good. I'm back at it."
Yes, it was that first class for me when we were doing the exercises and I took the entire 45-minute class. I did take breaks when I needed them, but I was very surprised with myself that I was able to even do a crunch or a kneeling
Mhm.
crunch and just things that I used to do before I had Alessia. And I was still able to do it and engage my core, and I didn't feel like I was gonna like pass out or anything. But I feel like I'm 8 months postpartum. I would say within the last 2 to 3 months, I've been feeling a lot more confident with teaching and just programming my workouts and helping other moms like that. I feel like it's slowly like coming. That pink is coming back. But yeah, it was that first class for me. I guess getting on the reformer and doing all the exercises, and it didn't feel like anything new. It felt like I had been doing it all along. I had just taken what 6 months off, or no, not 6 months, 8, yeah, longer than 6 months because I was pregnant, and so yeah,
I love that,
that's
and then
oh
you
yeah,
get you into the class, and then now you get to cuddle your baby, and, like, I get it.
yes.
Everything's so much better. Yay,
Oh
okay,
my gosh, it was
love that.
amazing.
We got a little bit more questions coming up, but first, let's take one of our last breaks. Welcome back to Newbies. We are continuing our topic about getting your pink back, working out after having a baby, Pilates edition. So, Lori, we spoke a lot about Pilates. We spoke a lot about the at-home workouts you can do. Tell us about where you work because we have listeners everywhere and you're in the Dallas area, which is huge. So I feel like some of our listeners are in that area. Where exactly do you work? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I am at the West Plano studio. It's called Carrie's Pilates, West Plano. We have a location in Trinity Groves in the Dallas area, and then we also have a location in Las Colinas area as well. Carrie is growing rapidly. She has locations in California, Canada, and I think there's something coming to Houston soon. So she's growing. So yeah, that's where I'm at the West Plano location for Carrie's Pilates.
I love that. Okay, and a few more questions. So, what classes generally are offered? And then you said that you did a mommy and me class. Was that like a one-time thing? Are you going to do that more often, maybe engagement-wise? But tell us about the classes offered where you are at.
Yeah, so we offer a full body class. So we're working your upper body, lower body, obliques, and core. Then I teach. It's called abs and ass. So it's mostly core and lower body. The entire class. There's no upper body there. We did our first mommy and me class on the 11th of April. We plan on doing more. So they're like special events. They're not they're not on the schedule, but we plan them out. We're gonna have more for sure. I know we did babies that were not walkers, so they want to do babies that are walkers. So we might do something with mats outside because reformers might be a little dangerous for walkers.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was a special event. I'm on the schedule in the middle of the day and then on Friday mornings as well. So
I love that. And that's good that it was crawlers basically because, and there's a huge difference too, because I have a 3-year-old and then a 7-month-old from like babies who can walk and like toddlers who can walk. It's a huge difference. But I do think an outdoor mat would be so nice and pleasant for like a 1-year-old, a 1.5-year-old. I think the 2-year-old would be kind of like, because they can talk by then. I can say no. So
we're able to
that's
run.
really funny. Anyway, this has been a very pleasant conversation. How can anyone keep in contact with you? What's the website for where you work? If you want to give your socials, you totally can. But how can people get in contact with you if they have any Pilates questions about the studio you work at?
Yes, absolutely. So my handle on Instagram is Lori, LORIH __. I do have a private profile, but I'm okay with anyone who wants to follow and who wants to have questions and things like that. So that's my handle on Instagram. That's probably the best way to get in contact with me. And then if you want to book a class with Carrie's Pilates, you can go to the Carrie's Pilates website, go to the location, West Plano, and you can see my schedule. And there's pictures and there's everything like that. And I can even give some of the listeners a first time free class if they would like for their first time. So yeah.
Love that. Yay. Awesome. Well, geez, we did it. We have 2 babies with us. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I'm excited to continue the conversation and interview different type of instructors. But this was a good, fun Pilates edition. Thank you, Lori.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Be sure to check out newmommymedia.com where we have all of our podcast episodes plus videos and more. That wraps up our show for today. Thanks for listening. If you love newbies as much as we do, please consider checking out the amazing businesses that sponsor our show week after week. And we'd also love for you to tell another new mama about this resource, which of course is absolutely free. And if you want to check out some of our other podcasts we produce, such as Preggy Pals for pregnant mamas, Parent Savers, which is parenting multiples, the boob group, all about breastfeeding and twin talks, then visit our website at newmommymedia.com. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram for more information, giveaways, and more. Our handle is @newmommymedia. Thanks for listening to Newbies.
This has been a New Mommy Media production. The information and material contained in this episode are presented for educational purposes only. Statements and opinions expressed in this episode are not necessarily those of New Mommy Media and should not be considered facts. While such information and materials are believed to be accurate, it is not intended to replace or substitute for professional medical advice or care. and should not be used for diagnosing or treating healthcare problem or disease or prescribing any medication. If you have questions or concerns regarding your physical or mental health or the health of your baby, please seek assistance from a qualified healthcare provider.
Hey mamas, don't forget to check out Mighty Moms. It's our online community built for new moms just like you. Not only can you connect with other moms, but you can also join us backstage for special mom-only online events. And you'll also be notified when we're recording so you can join us as a special guest. Visit our website, newmommymedia.com, and click on the Mighty Moms banner. It's free. That's newmommymedia.com. See you there.